All right, everyone, we are back live here at the Golden Nugget here in Las Vegas for the Moose International 2017 Texas Hold'em Tournament. I'm Mark Hoke, along with three-time World Series poker bracelet winner Dutch Boyd. Should I do it louder, Dutch?
I really hope that one day you're going to have to change that.
That's great. I welcome the change. I welcome it, absolutely.
I feel like it's been too many years that it's been 3-time.
So if I change it to 2-time? No, we can't do that.
That would be like a nightmare. They would just like take bracelets away.
That would be an interesting penalty. Anyway.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Anyway, we're back in action here.
They did take my diamond card away. My lifetime diamond card. So maybe they take the bracelet away next.
Oh my God, those rat bastards!
Cutting corners everywhere.
You betcha. Well,
2 minutes and 46 seconds till the card's in the air.
Yep. And
4 players left. Is that what we're looking at?
We lost 6 players on the final table in the first blind level of this final
is going
pairing.
Quick.
I told you.
And I feel like maybe the flatter payout has something to do with that.
Oh, sure. I mean, you're only dropping $1,000 each. The next jump, we're going from 9 to 10 to 12 to 15. So it's not that much. The only difference is first and second. So, and let's take a look, by the way, at those chip counts. Let's see who's going to maybe win that $15,000. Our new chip leader is Eric Stokes, the former NFL player, former Heartland Poker Tour winner. He stands at 7,910,000 chips. He is followed by Nathan Pipkin, who is...
I want to stop you really quick, Mark. I love this guy, Eric. He looks like he has command of the table. He really does.
Yeah.
And he of all the players that I've seen today, he is the one who is really most pro-ish, I guess I would say, as far as like how he's reacting when he's in these situations, how he is, very aware of what he's rooting for. There was an elimination back when he knocked out Wally, where the end comes and Wally thinks that he won. I was talking to him about it. He actually thought that he had won the hand where he had nothing. He had king high, and Eric, not only like recognized, exactly what was happening. He handled it so well. He's got his wife there on the rail rooting for him, and I just love the way he's playing, and I love the way he's composed at the table. Absolutely, and I could give him a great big hug too, because I feel like I thought that we were going to be here until like 11, and the way this is going, we're going to be out of here in about 20 minutes.
We keep that pace up. So Pipkin in second right now, 6.45. Then sitting in third at the moment is Ida Gonzalez. She's out of Downers Grove, Illinois, 3,165,000.
People call her Smiley.
Oh,
and I believe it is because she is.
She smiles. Just a hunch.
I think it's because she's smiling.
She's a smiler.
she's very happy to meet her.
All right, and then Gary Carnes in fourth right now at 1.6 million.
People also call him Smiley.
Double smileys?
Double smileys at the table is crazy, right?
You can tell they haven't been playing poker for a long time.
Okay, maybe not. One of those statements is not true.
Absolutely. So our players are just getting ready to take a seat. The clock has started now. So Eric's kind of meandering around over there. He's in no hurry, given where he is right now. Blinds are now up to 80,000, 160,000 with a 15,000 ante for our remaining 4 players. What are you expecting to see here, Dutch?
What I would expect to see here is for Eric to start being very aggressive and the other players not adjusting to shorthanded play. You have to adjust in these poker tournaments. You can't play the same way at a 10-handed table as you do a 4-handed table.
Correct.
Otherwise, the blinds will eat you up. And when you look at the cost per hand, at the final table, every time you lose a player, the cost per hand actually goes up. And where they're making an announcement here.
Oh, and they're drawing for the 50-50 in here. It's a nice tin. I'd like to have that thing. Very nice. All right, it looks like cards are back in the air here, so Ashton's going to get rolling here with our final four. So, Dutch, I'll let you slide out there.
All right. I'm going to have Joe Serwa, who is one of our distinguished members of the International Activities Committee, call out this number.
The winning ticket is 744081.
Oh, and a blank.
744081.
A blank on the 50-50. That's not good.
Okay, we'll post the results for claim that prize. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. They didn't have to be here. That would have been a terrible break. Dutch, what we got?
We have Eric in the big blind,
Yep.
four-handed. Ida looking down under the gun or the cutoff, whichever way you want to say it. Ida announcing her raise, 520,000.
All right. Now she's just got to get through Eric there, and she
she's
does.
going to take the blinds.
Yep. So nice start for her, and of course, she was one of the top two chip stacks on the table. It's taken a little bit of a hit. Lost about let's see, around 1.8 million chips.
She's third
since
in
we
chips
started.
now, right? That's what we're
So
looking
she's
at.
now third. Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, Ida out of Downers Grove, Illinois. I wanted to say hi to her boyfriend, Rich Lopez, all of her poker buddies back in Berwyn. Looks like Lombard and I'm guessing somewhere else. I can't quite read that.
So Nathan
River Grove. All right, there we go. River Grove.
So Eric raises Ida's big blind and takes it down.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that too. I just have a feeling that the play's going to be a little bit tentative. Raise it and take it may be the route to take right now.
Well, Mark, I think there's going to be a lot of raise it, take it hands at this, in this final table, in this four-handed match, because I feel like a number of these players are not going to be adjusting to the short-handed
Correct.
play. So they're going to be folding in spots where they really should be defending. They're going to be folding in spots where they really should be, raising and three-betting. So, but I could be wrong.
No,
What do
I think you're right, Dutch. Absolutely.
It looks like it's folded around and we're seeing a walk.
Ooh.
This is not something you usually see in four-handed final table situations, especially a walk to the short stack.
And of course, once again, we're live here at the Golden Nugget for the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em Tournament. Our winner's going to pick up $15,000 today. Second place will get 12, third gets 10, and fourth place will pick up 9,000. Our other finishers.
Fold it around the small blind. He's thinking about it. Looks like he's thinking about making a committing some chips to the pot. He goes ahead and calls. Nathan checks back. We're going to see a flop.
All right.
Flop comes King 10-6. Two spades. Check. Nathan fires out 500,000. It's going to be good enough to take the pot.
There you go. So Mr. Pipkin getting in there. And, of course, so just to recap what happened on the final table in just that last level, Dave Moriarty finishing in 10th place. Moriarty winning $3,000. Ninth place was Roland Jones. He finishes ninth, picking up $4,000. Cheryl Watson at 8th, winning $5,000. Seventh place going to Richard Tim Johnston. Johnston winning 6,000. Wally Dravenstadt in sixth, winning $7,000, and Charles Bailey out in fifth place for 8,000.
Nathan announces the raise. Stacking chips. It looks like he's making it about 500 and something thousand. Eric makes the fold, decides to avoid the big stack, and we're going to see another hand.
That's something that that Eric's been doing too. He's been playing pretty cautiously with Nathan. Probably a good tactic. No sense messing with him.
Yeah, honestly, Mark, not only because he's got so many chips, but I think that Eric is probably looking around the table, just looking for the best spots he can find.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have to agree with him that trying to start big confrontations with Nathan probably isn't the best spot.
Yeah.
It looks like Eric just called in the small blind, and I had to touch back. The flop came out 9-2-3. Eric made the check. Ida fired out a quick bet of about 500,000. Eric made a quick call. Now it goes check. Ida is all in. Eric is making a decision here.
Wow, a huge hand.
9-2-3-5 is the flop. 2 hearts. Ida's going to win that one. I think I'm probably looking at a heart eliminates Ida there, I think. I think so.
Yeah, Dutch, when you see a shove like that, what are you thinking in that situation? If you're in Eric's shoes at that point.
Well, if I'm in Eric's shoes, I'm thinking that there's no way that my jack high can be good. That my jack high of hearts is no good. But
good answer.
And it's just frustrating. It was really interesting how quickly he called. It made me feel like he was trying to dissuade a turn bet because he was on some sort of flush or straight draw. But Ida didn't fall for it. So she continued, made him, charged him for the draw. Looks like we have an all-in
Gary Carnes
situation. We'll see if we get a call.
Gary's going to be around 1.45.
Eric raised from the button, and Gary is now all in. And Eric makes the fold. He was getting almost 2-1 to make the call. So he must have been on a pretty weak hand, or he must have had a really good read on his opponent. It was probably the right fold.
Probably. As this really isn't a normal short stack situation. I mean, there's still plenty of play in here, and certainly that's a big hit he doesn't want to take. A double up gets Gary back into this tournament.
Eric makes the fold. I don't think Gary's looked at his hands yet.
Still stacking those chips. Attaboy. Make him wait.
He's all in. See if Nathan has something to look him up with. Well, he didn't fold immediately.
No. But he did fold.
And it's a fold.
Yeah, and the one thing, even though Gary's on that short stack right now, he still has enough chips to do damage. I mean, this is a big hit. If you call and lose, it's going to turn this tournament on its ear. So, it's not one of those normal short stack situations like, oh, I'll just barrel through the guy. I mean, he's got enough chips to really hurt you if you make a mistake. So. And we just got some great information, by the way, Dutch. Nathan Pipkin's father has won this tournament before. He was a 2012 champion.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So poker's in the blood.
Yeah. There you go.
He didn't mention that. He did not mention that in his interview.
No, he didn't.
So
No, I got nothing here.
that's really pretty cool.
Yeah. So maybe we'll have a father-son combination here at the 2017 Moose International, new champ. His name's Pete. Pete Pipkin.
Do we know if he played this event? Did he play?
2012 he won it.
Did he play this one?
Yeah, this tournament is the same tournament he won. It was 2012. That's his son right there.
Did his dad play this tournament?
Yes. Oh, yeah, he did. Yes, sorry. Yes, he did.
Oh, the Pipkins. Oh, I think I heard an all-in over there. And it looks like Pipkin has gone all in here. Wow.
Yeah, so we have Ida making the raise in the cutoff, and Nathan going all in, putting her a decision for all the chips. Eric gets out of the way, and we'll see if Ida decides that this is the hand she wants to make a defense with. She doesn't look really all that happy.
No.
And I have a feeling we're going to be waiting here for a little while.
Could be. Of course, I just started this off for a little over $3 million in chips. So that is about half of Nathan's stack. A little under half, so that's a...
It's definitely always a tough spot when you're facing elimination in a tournament like this. And ICM does kind of rear its head. You know, independent chip model is what ICM stands for. Basically, it's a fancy way of saying sometimes it's best to just survive rather than go for first. Every single time someone gets eliminated at this point, the difference between fourth and third isn't really that big in this tournament, though, because it's a pretty flat, fair payout. So I don't know, and at some point you just kind of have to, take a stand and go with it. We haven't really seen a lot of bluffing from anybody. I got to think that Nathan probably has a pretty decent hand here. But
you would have to imagine putting, going after over 3 million chips
especially,
here.
one thing to point out here is he also has Eric behind him.
And he did get the fold. So
he wins the hand. Ida decides to fight another day.
all right, and once again we're live here at the Golden Nugget here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada.
What did they have, Mark?
2 cards were dealt
I
face
wanna
down
know
to each
what they
player,
had.
sir. That's what they had. Of course, here for the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em Tournament.
I feel like we're in 2001.
Oh. I smell Queens versus Ace Queen, Dutch. That's what I felt in my heart.
Nathan getting ready for a raise. Looks like he's going to make it 600,000.
It's 625, I think.
He's going to take the blinds.
Whatever it is, it's good enough.
Good enough.
Notice we're on level 18 right now. Blinds are at 80,000, 160,000 with a 15,000 ante. Average stack is looks like it's around 4.4 million. Winner's taking home $15,000, a bracelet, custom chip set, and they might get a hug from Dutch Boyd too.
It's a pretty nice bracelet. I was actually really impressed. And 15 grand, that's a pretty good payday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good payday for anybody. But especially when maybe you're not a regular on the tournament trail, it's huge. It's huge. I think I would like 15,000.
Sure. Yeah. Still only seen one flop so far in the first 15 minutes.
I think for most of these players, 15,000 would be the most they've ever won at poker. I'm not sure
Except
about
for
Eric, though. Have you
Except
taken a
for
look
Eric.
at his Hinden- do you
Eric
know
said
what his,
he's won over $500,000. So
You should look at his Hinden mob.
well,
You should look it up and see what big scores he has.
The former Detroit Lion.
So Eric making the raise, and it looks like it's going to fold around to Nathan. The two big stacks left in the tournament. He gets out of the way. So we're here at the Golden Nugget, if you're just joining us. And fun fact about the Golden Nugget, Mark.
Oh, yeah?
No, this was the very first card room in Las Vegas.
Wow.
I can't remember the exact year, but Bill Boyd, a 3 or 4 time, I think he might have actually had 4 bracelets. Bill Boyd, also from Missouri, I believe. Came in and rented out some space here at the Golden Nugget, and that is the first time Vegas saw poker.
Wow. Dutch Boyd, fountain of information. I'll give you the information back. As for Eric, he did in 2010. He did win a main event at Mount Pleasant on the Heartland Poker Tour for $117,295. Also, 402nd in the 2011 World Series of Poker main event for $30,000. And let's see what else we got. Sorry, hang on one second. And has a second place finish at WSOP Circuit event in Hammond in 2009 for $23,595. So man's got a 6-figure score under his belt.
It's not too shabby.
It's not shabby at all. I just have a 6-figure. We still have only seen one flop so far. It's been. It looks like Ida just pushed her chips in.
So it looks like there were some fireworks here between Eric and Ida. Blind versus blind battle. Eric fired into her. No, Eric checked to her on a 10-10-4 board. She fired out a 500,000 bet. He made a raise, a check raise, and she very quickly went all in. Now, I happen to know what he has because I saw it. Is it okay to say?
No. No, sir, not yet.
You know, I feel like you see a lot of former professional athletes enter poker. I think that poker is a good way to get that competitive itch scratched, and I feel like the same types of drives that encourage somebody to and allow somebody to be successful in a sport translates well into other endeavors. You know, that's why you saw Michael Jackson as Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson.
Well, you know, he might have played a little poker.
Michael Jordan is a baseball player and golfer. You see a lot of sports figures coming into poker doing quite well. TJ Cloutier was a professional football player. Doyle Brunson was a pretty big name in basketball at one point, I believe, right?
Yep. And Ida just took that hand down, by the way.
I saw, and it doesn't surprise me. I knew it was going to happen because I saw what he had. I really love the way Eric's playing. He's playing with a lot of heart. He's playing with guts, and he's making moves. And I think he's going to win this event, Mark.
Eric, an alumni of Lakeview High School in Ohio, and a former tight end for the Detroit Lions, who unfortunately lost again in the playoffs this year, but nice job getting out of there. Went to Westminster College in Pennsylvania. I know where that is. wants to say hi to all of his Moose members and go Lions. So once again, four-handed battle here we have over there in Nathan Pipkin in seat number 2 officially. Eric Stokes was in seat number 6, followed by Ida Gonzalez in seat 8, and Gary Carnes out of Stillwater, Oklahoma in seat 9. Stokes came in with this final 4 as the chip leader, followed closely by Pipkin.
So it looks like it's just a call from the small blind. Nathan making the check back.
And we'll see our third flop.
King 9-3 on the board. Quick check. Check back.
Not a lot
It
of
looked like he was contemplating a bet there, and then decided to check. A lot of times that can mean that that a player is trying to dissuade a bet.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time when someone looks like they are contemplating a bet and then check to me, I'm more inclined to make a bluff, because usually players do that when they want to see another card, over cards, you know, or hands like a queen jack in that spot, or a queen something in that spot, where they feel like they have outs to win, but they know that they're out ahead right now. So Nathan does make the bet, does take it down. Nathan calling in a small blind, Eric deciding to check back in the big blind. We're seeing a lot of this, you know, limping in the small, checking in the big. I feel like the tournament mood is definitely kind of slowed down at this point.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of surprising, because in most tournaments you really see more aggressive, pre-flop moves once it gets short-handed.
And a flop of queen, diamonds, 9 spade, 9 club. Pipkin bet, and Eric made the call, and now we've got the ace of spades on the board. And a bet from Pipkin will take that down. Boy, this is going to be a competitive finish here.
I really like the way Nathan's playing, but one thing that I didn't like about that bet that he just made to take the pot down, he cut his chips out in front of his cards, went back to get more chips and put them on the chips that he cut out in front of his cards. In a lot of places, that's going to be considered a string bet.
True.
So it's basically, if you're going to be counting out chips to put them in the pot to make a bet or a raise, you really need to do that behind your cards.
Mm-hmm.
Your cards is kind of an unofficial betting line, and it just kind of shows the difference of experience between a player like Eric and a player like Nathan. Nathan, no stranger to poker, but I do think that he's probably a bit less familiar with formal tournament poker rules. Yeah,
and kudos to Eric if that's what happened there. You don't, for him to just let that go, probably a good thing. I mean, he could have called the floor over. Eric certainly could have called the floor on that if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could have actually, but I don't think it really mattered, because the amount that he had cut out, by the time he went back, was probably enough by itself to get the fold. Right. So. Bring this out onto the table and place it on the table. A lot of times also they'll
All right, of course, the action continuing here at the Golden Nugget in the 2017 Moose Texas Hold'em Tournament. And, of course, guys, if you want to check out Moose International and all the great things that they do, and, you see Moose Lodges everywhere across all of North America, make sure you guys go to mooseintl.org and check it all out. And maybe you can get involved with the Moose Lodge in your area. I'm sure they'd love to have you. And it looks like Pipkin's limping in again, so we're going to get a flop. Jack of Hearts, Ace of Hearts, 7 of Hearts.
So I would actually put the poker chips as close to the black thing and the bracelet in front of the poker chip.
All right, so another raise to take there, and I tell you what, this has been, everybody's got this. It's getting a little more tentative out there. These guys, said, not a big disparity in the payouts, but certainly things have tightened up. We got our first 2 eliminations on the first hand of the final table, with Dave Moriarty going out in 10th and Roland Jones in 9th. Cheryl Watson quickly went out in 8th, and we got down to 4 players in one blind level. Of course, blind levels are 1 hour, but now we're about a half hour into level 18, and things have slowed considerably. Nathan Pipkin continues to bring home the chips. He's out of Aden, North Carolina. Finished 3rd in the 2nd edition of this tournament. 3rd time he's been in the money, and did want to say hi to his kids and grandkids back home. So Nathan Pipkin thinking about his family as he tries to win this tournament.
You know what I like about Nathan? I like that he's wearing a Fitbit.
There you go.
So anytime he gets those aces, he can look down and see his heart go wild. I'm wearing the same Fitbit.
Wow.
We are actually Fitbit brothers.
I have a great Fitbit story, but you'll have to message me on Facebook to get that out of me. I'm Mark Hoke, by the way, along with 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner Dutch Boyd doing the commentary for you here today.
It's awesome to be here, too.
Yeah.
I love working with you, Mark. I love hanging out
We
with you.
are an awesome team.
I would say so. I'll be your sidekick any day. It's pretty awesome being here.
You know when the first commentary we ever did was, do you remember it? You should.
Let me think about it. I mean, this would have been going back a ways.
Back a ways.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, we were at the Epic Poker League.
You're kidding me.
Oh,
Wow.
You seen that picture?
You have a history with a lot of leagues, don't you?
Oh, and it just is. It's continuing to grow. Oh. That's the custom chip case, by the way. The only thing more beautiful in that chip case is Shuri, of course. Bringing it out. Of course, she's on membership duties here and handling all the coordinating this whole thing, and she has done a fantastic job setting this up. Another great series and great event for Moose International. Yeah, Dutch, we sat together for 4 hours that day. Out of the 17.
What was the table? Who was?
That was that 3-handed nightmare with Joe Tehan and Sloppy Claude and Lucky Chewy.
All right.
Yeah,
So Lucky Chewy's starting an online poker site.
I did.
He just released the site today, or not today, this week. It's in beta. Got a big picture of him in his white hoodie, looking like he just rolled out of like a cardboard box. It's wonderful.
He's got a survival mode look to him.
I love.
Lucky Chewy's awesome. Great guy.
Andrew Lichtenberg, right?
Lichtenberger. Yeah.
Lichtenberg.
Yeah. Burger.
He's amazing. He's an amazing player. He always is smiling. I remember a few years ago at the World Series, it was the funniest thing because he was kind of he seemed like he was kind of flirting with one of the masseuse girls outside by the bathrooms, the outside bathrooms, and he had his standard homeless look on, and she was kind of very standoffish, but then very confused because then all these like big time poker players would come and be like, "Hey, congrats on the score. Nice job the other day on that $1 million score."
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
You can get away with the homeless look when you're taking down high rollers.
You betcha.
We have a little bit of a confrontation here between Nathan and Eric.
All right. And we actually get a flop. Woo! 10 of spades, ace of diamonds. Only 3 clubs up there.
Oh, Nathan going for a check raise there. And there we saw it. There it was. He was actually called out for the string raise.
Oh.
The dealer called him out. Eric didn't call him out. The dealer did call him out, forcing him to put in 1.1 instead of the. It looked like he wanted to make it 1.2. That was a really interesting hand to watch, actually. As soon as the flop came out, Eric reached for his chips as if he was going to make the bet. And a lot of times players do that to dissuade you from making a bet. So when Nathan checked and he made the bet anyway pretty quickly, if I'm Nathan, it does seem like a pretty good spot to make a check raise as a move. Just because if Eric really smashed the hand, then why would he be telegraphing his intention to make the bet?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what went into that check raise from Nathan, or maybe Nathan just had a decent hand. We'll never know.
No.
We'll never know.
By the way, for all you Moose gang
Looks
out
like
there.
Ida is making the move.
Oh, yeah, we'll
in.
hold off on a promo there. We have
Nathan
an all
raised
in.
on the button. She's all in the big blind for, I want to say about 2.6 billion.
Not stacked in 20, so makes it a little harder. Looks like we're gonna get a count on this.
We're getting the count now. Yeah, so it's going to be a little over 3 million, 3.3 million more if Nathan decides to make the call.
So just under about half of Nathan's stack if he makes the call.
He's making the call, so we're going to see.
Right.
We have an all-in situation. Ace-10 offsuit versus pocket nines, 2 red nines. Nathan ahead right now, but this is a coin flip. The dealer slowly spreading those cards. Jack 6-3, no help for Ida. The 6 is also not going to help, so she's down to 6 outs. That's
And
going to
King of
do it
Spades.
for Ida
Wow.
Gonzalez, 4th place for $9,000.
All right, so we are down to 3 now, and that, of course, is going to put
Again,
Nathan Pipkin back in the lead
hear the
in this
crowd
tournament.
cheering her. It's a hell of a finish. And she should definitely be happy with that accomplishment. It never feels good when you get knocked out, but $9,000 is a great score.
Absolutely. So congratulations to Ida Gonzalez out of Downers Grove, Illinois. She's going to be our fourth place finisher here in the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em Tournament. And Nathan Pipkin is now taken back over as the chip leader. And Gary Carnes has got to be sitting around. He's going to be living on a prayer here trying to fight these two off at this point. All right, so we are down to 3 now. Gary Carnes just saying, I got position on you to Derek Stokes, but that's about all he's got right now. So he's sitting around 800,000. So Gary Carnes is going to be trying to hang on here. He's going to need a little help to get back into this thing. And that should push Pipkin just around the 10 million chip mark. And a raise a take it for Stokes on that one. So we're down to 3 here at the Golden Nugget. And while Dutch is doing an exit interview, we'll keep things rolling. 3 players remaining in this tournament. Nathan Pipkin out of Aiden, North Carolina. To your right in the center of the table, Eric Stokes from West Bloomfield, Michigan, the former Detroit Lion. And Gary Carnes from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Pipkin now your chip leader. Carnes the short stack, and he is going to have some work to do to stop what really from right off the bat. Oh, and we have an all-in from Eric. Wow, and Pipkin is thinking about this. Holy cow. We could have the biggest hand of the tournament if Pipkin makes the call. But he will let it go. So it should be a pretty terrific 3-handed battle here. We're going to see if Carnes can get back into this. But you can almost tell Carnes his attitude's lightened a little bit. He knows he's got a lot of work to do. And we have an all-in and a call. It is Carnes with Queen Club, 9 of club. Stokes with a King of Hearts, 10 of clubs. Flop is 7 diamonds, Ace of clubs, Ace of spades. No help for Carnes. 4 clubs on the turn. Looking for the flush draw on this. And a Queen of spades on the river, and Carnes has doubled up. He will stay alive. So Gary Carnes gets the help he needed on that. And we're getting a count here now. Oh. Why is everybody here? And that's going to put Stokes on the short stack now. No orange chips in front of this 100K chip denomination. And all of a sudden, that heads-up match that we thought was going to be inevitable, not so much. So River Card saving Mr. Carnes. And we will stay three-handed here at the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em Tournament. And Stokes has now gone all in. Oh, and not sure what just happened here. Oh, it looks like we do have an all-in and a call. As Carnes with an ace, spade, 9 spade. Stokes with ace of hearts, king of diamonds. Flop comes jack, spade, 3 spade, 4 club. So the spade draw now. Once again, a flush draw for Carnes trying to stay alive. 8 of diamonds, no help. Needs to dodge a spade or a 9 here. Deuce of clubs, and Stokes doubles back up. Eric Stokes is having fun, kids. Let's see how much that cost him. So just about $1 million back to Stokes. And here we go again. Of course, Nathan Pipkin well in control at this point. About 17 million chips in play, and Pipkin looks like he's got about 12 and a half of that. So a back and forth battle between Carnes and Stokes. Trying to keep everybody away from the table here. It's getting a little tight. Of course, I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. We are live here at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas. Beautiful downtown area. Always a great time. Dutch Boyd also helping us out here too. He's finishing up an exit interview, and we'll get Dutch back over here. And we got a exposed card on that one, 10 diamonds. Accidentally flipped up. And Pipkin has announced a raise here. I'm not sure what just happened there. He called 250. Odd bet on that. But it'll be enough to win the hand. So once again, right now, Nathan Pipkin in control of this tournament, and a little back and forth between Eric Stokes and Gary Carnes. Three-handed here. Winner's getting $15,000, a custom chip case, and a beautiful bracelet. She's looking at this like, yeah, just make us a couple next year, you know? Wow. There you go. All right, and let's see. I believe we got a raise to $400,000 from Stokes. Carnes has folded. Action is over to Pipkin, and boy, I'll tell you, if Pipkin could, and he is going to raise. Goes to 120 and or 1.2 million, and that's going to be enough to get Stokes out of the hand. So Nathan Pipkin now in control. All right, this crowd's starting to close in here a little bit as we continue on here, three-handed. And it looks like Pipkin does a raise to take it to win another hand. So Nathan Pipkin in control here at the Golden Nugget. Of course, Stokes Pipkin led the final table going into this and has not looked back. He has continued to roll through this, but Eric Stokes, of course, got things going as well, and actually four-handed took the chip lead away from Pipkin. But Pipkin has managed to really open up a chip lead now, and it looks like his tournament to lose at this point. Dutch, what do you got?
Nathan limping in on the button. We might see a three-way flop here. Yes, indeed.
All right, first three-way flop of the...
Queen 9-6 on the board. Rainbow. Eric making the check. Gary making the check. Nathan announcing his bet, $375,000.
And cleans the house.
It's going to be enough to take it.
So Nathan Pipkin trying to follow in his father's footsteps.
So Eric making the raise on the button, and it looks like we have an all-in situation. It doesn't look like there's much more to call, so here we are. Queen 10 versus King Jack. So Eric is ahead, but Definitely not in a commanding situation. We'll see the flop. 5-4-7. That's a great flop for Eric.
Absolutely.
He's at about a 3-1 favorite at this point. The 2 of hearts changes nothing, so he has to dodge 6 outs. And that's going to do it. We have a third place finisher,
Right.
and we now are heads up with surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Pipkin and Stokes.
Amazing.
Nobody saw that coming.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little extra interview. I'll be right back. I think
right.
they're going to be doing the bracelet ceremony, the
right.
bracelet presentation.
All right. So once again, we are now heads up here. Gary Carnes eliminating the third place. Gary is going to pick up $10,000. So it'll be $12,000 for second, $15,000 for the winner. And these guys are, I'll be excited now as we get ready to go into heads up play. Between Ayden, North Carolina's Nathan Pipkin and West Bloomfield, Michigan's Eric Stokes. And Pipkin should be carrying about, should be around a 3-1 chip lead at this point. Shree almost dropping that beautiful custom case. I'll get the bracelet out here too.
Isn't this exciting, everybody? On behalf of Moose International, I would like to commend you, Nathan. I'd like to commend you, Eric, for making it this far. Let's give them a round of applause. These fine players are going to be competing for this championship bracelet and for this champion engraved poker chip set. Congratulations and good luck, gentlemen.
All right. We're loaded up and ready to go here. So heads up play just about to get rolling here as we near the end of this tournament. So Pipkin and Stokes going to be shooting out here now. And got to imagine Eric, playing on the short stack here is going to be pretty aggressive. He knows the situation all too well. Of course, former Heartland Poker Tour champion. Former NFL player, so he understands the competitive nature of the situation. Stokes put it up to 6, and Pipkin went over the top and quickly gets Stokes out of the hand. So first blood for Pipkin. Button is on Stokes. Of course, once again, winner picks up $15,000, $12,000 to the runner-up. Of course, the winner also getting the bracelet, the chip case, and the title. And Stokes will pick that one up. Where Stokes got on that great run on the previous blind level, took the chip lead, but Pipkin took it back. Pipkin led the way into the final table, and these two have pretty much been unstoppable this afternoon here at the Golden Nugget. We'll see a flop. And now on a board, 8 diamonds, 8 spade, 6 heart, king club, king spade, 1.2 million in for Pipkin. Stokes saying he's got ace high. And he will make the call. Let's see what Pipkin turns up. And he lets it go. Stokes shows ace queen, and he makes the right call. So a little bit of help. Stokes climbing back into this.
That is always tough. That is always tough, making a call on the river when you have no pair. It's a little bit easier when you're looking at like a double paired board like that, but that's a good call. And I also like the fact that Eric actually announced what he had to get the read. You're not really supposed to do that under TDA rules, but you know, it's sometimes it works for you. Impressive play from both of them, really. I mean, it was impressive for Nathan to make the bluff, and it was impressive to make the call.
And that's the kind of hand that's going to make a difference here, Stokes. Making the right call there. So once again, we are heads up here at the 2017 Moose International. A terrific final table. We found out 2 former champions of this event.
So I'm not sure about that that river check by Nathan there. You know, maybe he's trying to induce the bluff, but I think that's probably a pretty good spot to go for value, especially when, you know, not two hands ago you had Eric making the call with ace high. So I think maybe there was a little bit of missed opportunity there by Nathan to just get a little bit of value out of that pair of chance. And we got a little misdeal there.
Wrong order.
Wrong order. And what was that? Queens versus tens?
I couldn't see
It
it.
was like king queen versus tens or queens versus tens. I couldn't tell.
Ooh,
Doesn't matter.
not anymore.
You just forget about misdeals. They didn't even happen.
Yeah, probably the most common dealer error and heads up. You know, they don't get to deal it that often. They're just dealing in the wrong direction.
So in heads up play, the button is the small blind.
And of course, the first card should go to the big blind. So went the wrong way, and we'll keep it going here. And got about a little over a minute left in level 11. So we're going to be headed up or a level 11, level 18. So we'll be headed to, well, a lot of people would love it to be level 11. We'll be headed to level 19 here shortly. Blinds will be 100,000, 200,000, 20,000 ante. We've got about 17.7 million chips in play.
Eric announcing all in. And Nathan looks like he has a decision. Makes the fold. Eric will take it.
Of course, each one of these hands at the moment, 270,000 chips, and then, we'll be getting into our next blind level where it's going to be 340,000 in play right off the bat. So a lot of chips are going to be going into action here.
What are the chip counts? We got about
I think right now it's about 11. It was around 11 to 6 ish is where it was. So
I think Eric is slowly climbing up a little bit. I don't think it's. I think he's got over 7. It's kind of hard to tell with the way that he's stacking chips. We've got some fireworks here. Betting a call. Eric making the check. Nathan checking pretty quickly behind him.
Nobody wants
a bit of a
piece of
pump
that.
fake there. And a single pair will take it down. I think that there's another example of a situation where Nathan, last to act with a pair of 8s, probably should try to get just a little bit of value there.
Yeah, I mean, he does it. He's got an aggressive player there who's, who probably will make the calls to look him up for a couple of times and see what's going on. So, he may be leaving some chips on the table. I definitely agree with you, Dutch. You can see that beautiful chip case, the bracelet on top. Of course, these guys playing for a little bit of coin there too. 15,000 to the winner, 12,000 for second.
So I think that's about the 4th time in this heads-up match we've seen Eric move all in pre-flop from the button with actually a pretty healthy stack.
Yeah.
It's a little over 30 big blinds, and I gotta say, I think if I'm in Eric's spot, I'm probably gonna try to make this a post-flop game rather than the strategy he's choosing. We'll see if it works out for him, and I don't know what he's shoving with, but I feel like he's got the experience here and probably the advantage if he keeps on making it post-flop.
Yeah,
he's
agreed.
certainly been making the right river decisions. So I don't know. I feel like if I'm in his shoes, I'm probably going to try to see more flops rather than get it all in pre with this amount of big blinds in front of you.
Exactly. And the blinds have gone up now. We are at level 19, 100,000, 200,000. Actually, it looks like at 25,000, Andy. My apologies. Our nearest board is blocked off by a spectator. So we do have a 25,000 Andy out there.
So Eric's making the fold there on the button. Heads up, there's really not a lot of hands that I like folding on the button. But if you're up against an opponent who doesn't know how to adjust a short-handed, a lot of times I think it's okay to fold a few hands, especially early on in a heads-up match, to kind of signal to them that it's okay for them to fold.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they end up folding more pre-flop than you do.
Yeah, and back to the point that you had mentioned about. Let's see, we got a flop here. Hang on. No betting on the flop. It's like turn got about a 600,000 chip bet and a call.
So Eric fired out a 200,000 bet on the turn, followed with a really quick $200,000 bet on the river. Nathan got out of his way.
Yeah.
Didn't look like he had much to think about, so he must have maybe turn some sort of draw.
And Dutch, back to the point that real quick that you had made about the betting heavy pre-flop. I remember one time you had said when you were playing an Epic Poker League event that you were raising 5x because you didn't want to go post flop with anybody. I remember you said that one time, and
You definitely need to be adjusting your
So-
pre-flop raise amount, depending on a lot of different factors. One of them, the strength of the opponents that you figure to face, and if you want to discourage post-flop action, you make it a higher multiple.
yeah. So it would seem to be with the experience factor here that it should be going the other way. That he should be maybe going 2.5x ballpark
should,
here.
Mark. Eric has over $500,000 in winnings. He's been playing for a long time. He's played, some of the best players and hung with them. So, I don't know what's going on in his mind. The chances of him actually getting looked up are so small.
Oh, checked up that flop there, by the way. We go to a turn. We've got 8 of hearts, king of hearts, deuce of spades, 10 of hearts. And they're going to check that down again. And I'm sorry, we had a bet about 300,000, and now Eric is all in.
We got an all-in and a call. It looks like Eric is going to double up.
And Eric hit a flush.
All in. Sorry, guys. It was $1 million and a call, not all in and call.
So it looks
$1 million
like
and a call. So that's going to it's actually a pretty decent sized pot. Gets
so
it.
That's going to tighten things up. Probably about a 2 to 3 million chip deficit now. So at the
I
most.
thought I heard all in.
Well, you thought wrong, sir.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
And then
It's not like we're live or anything, We will forgive him because
we'll
he is.
edit that out.
Yeah. Well, we will forgive him, of course. 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner Dutch Boyd, along with me, Mark Hoke. We're very happy to be with you here at the Golden Nugget for the Moose International 2017 Texas Hold'em Tournament. We are heads up between Nathan Pipkin from Ayden, North Carolina, and Eric Stokes from West Bloomfield, Michigan. Pipkin slightly out in front now.
I'm going to have to try that as an angle shoot in the next WSOP I play, saying million, and then say, no, I said all in.
Yeah.
Million.
That's
all
pretty,
in.
that,
Million.
that's
All in.
Not bad.
Not really. Don't try that.
No, don't do that at
Don't
home,
try that
kids.
at home.
Don't try that Don't try it at the World Series either.
Angle shootings for losers.
Raise the take it there for Pipkin.
Nathan taking that one. I feel like it could have been a bigger pot. I mean, when your head's up, any pair is
Huge.
a good hand.
Yeah.
You flop a pair, it's going to be a good hand. And you get a situation like that where they both end up flopping a pair of queens, a pair of nines. You would expect that pot to get inflated a little bit. So
Yeah, it almost seems like they're playing pre-flop the opposite of what you would think they'd be doing.
it's definitely unexpected. But I mean, they both have a plan.
Yep.
They both have an idea of how they're going to win this. So there's so much going on between the players that you just can't see as an observer.
Yeah, and of course, and it's easy, a lot of times it's very easy to say, well, someone should be playing like this. But these guys have been playing for 3 days. They've probably bumped into each other at some point in the tournament. They've got a read on each other. They know what they want to do with each other. So,
And that's another good point. We can talk about their play all we want. We can compliment and criticize, but in the end, they're the ones sitting there.
Yep.
They're the ones feeling the pressure. They're the ones making the decisions, and they're the ones who have got to where they are right now by making good decisions these last 3 days.
and it looks like Eric has gone all in.
Another
And
all-in pre from Eric on the button,
Wow.
getting the fold, and
It's interesting. It's a very surprising but interesting tactic. It's working.
well,
it's working.
That's how all-ins work. They work until they don't. I mean, eventually, the chances of you getting called in those spots are so slim. But then when you do get snap called, your heart just sinks because you're usually taking away the worst of it. I just don't expect this. I wouldn't have expected this heads-up match to end in a Eric all in on the button for 35, 40 bigs, and Nathan calling situation pre-flop. But it looks like maybe that's how it's going to happen. Both of these players, though, have played really well today. Had a chance to talk to both of them before the final table. Eric, a past winner of this event. Nathan, his dad, won this event, and it's pretty cool watching the cream rise to the top in this thing.
Yeah, and just check down to that river, and then Eric puts a bet out, and that hand's over. So nothing. No major fireworks at this point. It's been post flop has been pretty tentative. We had one big hand with the double paired board, and it's been about it. Mostly small ball the rest of the way. And once again, we're live here at the Golden Nugget for the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em Tournament. We are on level 19 with the blinds at 100. Yeah, 100. That was correct. 100,000, 200,000, 20,000, 80. Heads up between Nathan Pipkin to your right, and to your left is Eric Stokes. And once again, another check down board. I mean, and they're moving quick out there too. I mean, a lot of checking and very interesting.
So Eric just made the fold there with ace queen. It's pretty interesting. I don't know if what Nathan had. Maybe Nathan got away with a bluff there, but if he didn't, it's kind of demoralizing when even though ace queen isn't a pair there. It's the next best thing. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as having pocket threes as far as showdown value. So, on one hand, when you try to make a bluff and a guy makes a call with a pretty weak ace, and then later on you make a value bet and he folds a really strong ace and shows it, if Eric was right there, then that's really demoralizing.
Yeah.
You start thinking that, maybe your opponent is just like seeing right through you. Of course, if he's wrong, this is the cost of showing, then not only does it make Nathan feel more confident in his moves, it encourages more bluffs, which is not what you want to do. I'm usually not a proponent at all of showing hands, but sometimes it's a valuable tactic if you know you're right.
Great point. All right, we've got another flop out there. Queen of Diamonds, Jack Spade, 7 of Hearts. Another little hand for Eric, but we are in a stalemate at this point. Of course, we're about 3:30 Pacific time out here, battling it out at the Golden Nugget for this title.
Nathan limping on the button. Eric making a min raise there. Very small raise, the kind of raise that you really can't expect to ever get through without a flop. So, little sweetener. Fires out 500,000 pretty quick on that queen. Queen King 3. And Nathan making the call.
Yeah, we're finally getting some action on here. Look at about
This pot is starting to get serious. 1.8 million in the middle.
And a 4 of Hearts on the turn.
$1 million and a call. Eric firing out 1 million. Nathan making the call. Ace of diamonds on the river. It's a really interesting river because it's gonna have a chilling effect on a lot of hands.
Yeah, and Eric, and speaking of that, Eric just checked it, so action is over to Nathan.
Nathan taking his time.
Eric, for the third time, rubs the bracelet, by the way.
And he's firing out what looks like 2 million there. He gets through. Eric quickly folds. This is when, those are the kinds of hands where if I'm in Eric's spot, those are the hands I lose sleep over.
Yeah.
Because to me, it felt like Nathan was revving himself up for a bluff. To me, it felt like he was trying to work himself up to it. And, Eric might have been able to take that pot with a check raise, all in. He also might have been able to take that if he continued on the river. And he might have even had the best hand just by making the call. This is why, that's one of the hardest things about poker is the not knowing. Eric with another all-in on the button, getting the fold.
Button is
At
on
this
Nathan.
point, though, it looks like Eric has fallen to less than 4 million.
So that would put it at about a...
So with this kind of stack, this is when it probably is all right to go ahead and make the shoves.
Sure.
But, even so, a big part of No Limit Hold'em's success in tournaments is looking down at a stack that's 15 or 20 bigs and not feeling short.
Right.
It's very hard to do. When you lose half your stack or 60% of your stack, it's so easy to feel like, oh, now I'm a short stack. I really only have one move all in. But he actually has a lot of play in front of him.
Yep.
And if you just get into the mindset that your opponent has the same amount of chips as you do, no matter how many chips you have, it's all about effective stacks. You can kind of avoid that. But it is really deflating.
All right, we did get a flop here. And Eric fires out. Check.
Eric
Bet. Gone.
winning the little ones.
So once again, Nathan Pipkin to your right. Eric Stokes to your left. As we close in on crowning a new champion here at the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em Tournament. Dutch Boyd here along with me, Mark Hoke. Very happy to have you with us.
This has been awesome watching this final table unfold, Mark. I can't remember ever in my whole poker career seeing a final table with as much positive energy as this one. Usually when someone gets knocked out of a tournament, they're sour. They feel bad about it. But every single one of these players have been happy and positive on the way out the door. Mm-hmm. And it makes me want to become a Moose.
There you go. Well, and of course, if you want to check out what's going on at Moose International, let's go to mooseintl.org. 1.1 million members strong, and of course, great work that they do. Of course, that was
some interesting table talk there. Eric's shoving all in after a river check by Nathan. Nathan scratching his head and saying, "I think you're making a move on me there." Eric says, "Yeah, I'm making a move. I'm making a move." It's like, what do you do when someone says that?
Yeah. It's got Nathan talking to himself a little bit over there too. You get a little fist bump going on. Guy's having a great time out there. By the way, Dutch. Of course, since you happen to say that in front of the membership director for Moose, there you go. Application just for you, buddy.
Application.
I should join too.
I wonder what they do with the application. Like, is there like a credit check?
Do you screen these people? Because if you do, there's no hope for him.
So the flop comes out 10-3-4. Eric fires out 375,000, gets the call.
Ace of spades and no action there.
Nathan firing at a $2 million bet there on the river, and Eric folding 8 high face up. Eric making the call on the button, trying to get a cheap flop. Nathan saying no, we are raising this, getting through.
So Pipkin trying to keep the pressure on here. Definitely does not want to let the more experienced Stokes get back into this tournament.
Eric firing out 300,000 here, getting a very quick call from Nathan, slinging him into the pot.
Oh, and there's a straight. Straight for Eric.
So this is an interesting hand. The board is double paired. Eric exclaims, all I did was turn a straight, and then shows the straight. But doesn't actually fold the hand, thinks about it. The dealer looks to the tournament director. Is this what's going to happen?
Yeah, he is tap dancing around that a little bit. You know, explain for people out there that don't understand what we're talking about with the comments that he's making. What is he not supposed to be doing?
Okay, so in professional tournament poker, there's no real, governing, body or like. It's not like a commissioner of poker. Every venue is going to have their own house rules, and every venue is going to have their own tournament rules. But there's been an organization, the TDA, Tournament Directors Association, started by a tournament director named Matt Savage. I think Matt started that. Right?
Matt was one of them, yeah.
Who have been trying to make uniform rules for tournament poker. Now, one of the rules that they came up with is that you can't talk about the contents of your hand when facing a decision. And the idea is that it influences action. Now, I am not a big fan of that rule. I think that when it's heads up in a pot, and especially when it's heads up in a tournament, the player should be able to say and do whatever they want to affect and manipulate action. But the TDA rule is that you can't do it. So under TDA rules, Eric could be facing a penalty for this kind of thing. First, he'd get a warning, typically. The next offense, he could actually start missing some hands, which, when you're in a situation like this, it's very expensive.
Right.
So the dealer actually looking at the tournament director, trying to figure out, is this allowed? The tournament director making the call on the floor to not say or do anything about it. And I think it's the right move in this situation,
Right.
given that this is, not really a professional, tournament stop. This is, and even though there's a lot of money at play, it's for the moose and moosettes. It's a good cause, and this is a community lodge kind of atmosphere. So I think the tournament director's making the right move there. But the thing is, Eric knows better. Eric knows what he's doing. Eric is no stranger to the professional tournament trail. He knows that.
So he can almost be taking advantage of that flexibility.
I feel
Possibly.
I feel like a little bit he's taking advantage of the situation, knowing that he can get away with more here. This is more like a home game than it is, a WPT or a WSOP.
Yeah,
So it's kind of interesting.
But of course, the one thing to take into account is almost all of the orange chips. Those 100Ks are in front of Nathan Pipkin right now, and he has got Stokes in some serious trouble at this point. Dutch, can you see a chip count, approximate chip count for Eric there? We'll figure out the rest of the way.
It looks like about 3.3 million.
So that would put Nathan around
15 million. Probably looking at about
14, 13 or 14, 13 and a half, 14 million, some of that ballpark. And just pulled more oranges away. So it's getting into trouble time for Eric Stokes if he wants to win this title.
If you're in Eric's situation, if you're in his spot, it's kind of hard to really decode where the chips went to. There was that one big hand where we didn't really get to see what happened. The ace of the diamonds hit the river, and by the time all was said and done, Nathan was winning a $5 million pot. There were a few of those, and then there were other situations where Eric flopped a straight and got counterfeited, like that one hand that we just saw. But there weren't any really big confrontations.
Yeah.
Eric going all in there, Nathan making the fold. Yeah, and back to the whole, I'm not saying it's an angle shoot, kind of playing loose and fast with.
It's more understanding the situation.
But I gotta give him credit. It's an advanced play. You turn over your hand. You don't fold it. He's not thinking. He's actually thinking about making the call with it. He's not sure if he's making the fold. He wants to get a reaction. And
I think we heard an all in again.
All in. And eventually, we are going to see a confrontation here. Eventually, we're going to see, Eric making the all in shove. When it finally gets to the point where Nathan calls, he'll probably be ahead. But Eric, if he keeps on making the all-in, shoves and getting away with it, might be able to blind away enough where the chip stacks could conceivably switch if Eric does survive.
Yeah, and of course, Eric hanging right around probably about the 15 big blind level at this point. So still not panic mode in there, but definitely he's got to. He's going to have to open this up.
I still think that there's still room for post-flop play.
Yeah.
But maybe Eric would disagree with me, so.
He might block you into a wall. And we'll see a flop on this. 6 of diamonds, 8 of hearts, ace of hearts, and Eric is going all in.
It looks like Nathan has a decision here. He's
Nathan
rubbing the beanie. The flop is ace, 8, 6 with 2 hearts. So you got to think Nathan is thinking here with maybe a pair of 8s, maybe a pair of 6s. He elects to make the fold. That's a tough fold because it's such a draw-heavy board that there's a lot where both players are going to have enough equity to justify both moves. I think an all-in and a call. That's the kind of flop where you're going to see it.
Unless he's got a Brunson. a nice black Brunson on that. Then
Yeah, but if Nathan had 10-2, of spades, he's not thinking there. He's not wasting his time and everyone else's time. He's just
I would
making the fold.
stall it out a little bit. Why not?
I know you would.
A little Hollywood. A little Hollywood never hurt anybody. Not a Kasuf, but a little Hollywood.
Why not?
Like Scott Baio.
This is about as
Scott
good as
Baio Hollywood. We're not talking George Clooney Hollywood. Just a little Scott Baio.
This is about the best feeling that there is when you're playing poker, though.
Yeah.
Heads up for all the marbles in the game. It is kind of nice. Make it last.
Yep.
And there's no what's the rush? How often are you going to be actually playing for one person a significant amount of money? It's definitely worth taking your time and trying to make sure you make the right decisions.
And it's interesting too. Just as a reminder, I got reminded, but Nathan finished third in this in the second year of this event. So, got to be thinking, man, I'm here now. I got the shot. You don't often get two chances in this game.
No, you don't. No, a lot of people don't even get one.
Well. So once again, blind levels right now, 100,000, 200,000, 20,000 any. The orangish red chips are 100,000 in value. The grays are 25,000. The blacks are still in play, surprisingly, but the blacks are 5,000. And we're about halfway through level 9 here, or 19, excuse me, of the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em tournament here live at the Golden Nugget. As we wrap up a fantastic week of poker for the Golden Nugget and Moose International, their annual collaboration.
So another thing we've been seeing in this heads-up match is both players electing to do a lot of limping on the button.
Yeah.
And I really feel like you should be raising.
Yeah, I am not a proponent of that. Oh.
I like raising on the button. I feel like you want, for people who are new to poker and are new to watching something like this. In poker, you have something called position.
4 spades out there, by the way, on this board.
Whoever is last to act generally has a pretty big advantage in every hand. So when you are the one with position, you want to make sure that those pots, those confrontations, are more expensive, are more valuable pots than the ones where you're out of position. The way you do that is you raise on the button. So the fact that Nathan is doing a lot of limping on the button. And we really haven't seen a lot of raises at all. Maybe 2 or 3 times so far in this heads-up match I've seen Nathan make a raise pre-flop from the button.
And we got a bet of, looks like $500,000.
But like I said, I can sit here and criticize players all I want. These are the players who are actually making the moves and doing it successfully.
And $500,000 bet in from Eric, and Nathan has made the call on this.
So that was a pretty big hit
Stokes
for Stokes.
And Nathan
Stokes
will win the
firing at
hand.
500,000, I believe, there on the end. Nathan calling with a pair, with bottom pair, worst kicker. He had 3-2. Was it a pair of threes or a pair of twos? I think it was.
And that's just one of the situations of the story not adding up, and he figured it out.
It was really a pretty good call. It was basically the equivalent of calling with ace high. The only thing that he could beat there was a pure stone cold bluff, and that's what Stokes had. So great call by Nathan, and you definitely can't fault Stokes for making the play.
Yeah, and Stokes applauding Nathan on that. But Stokes is in some big trouble at this point as Nathan Pipkin will look to try and...
He's looking like he's at about, 10 digs at this point?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't quite see his stack. But
Let me see if I can get a count.
of course, we've got about 17.7 million chips in play.
It looks like he's at about 2.6,
So that would put Stokes
0.6
or
million.
Pipkin around 15,
15 and a half.
15-1, somewhere in that ball. 15 and a half, yeah. So
So we're looking at about a 6-1 chip lead. But anything can happen in these
Yeah.
heads-up matches. I mean, how many times have we seen these chip leads go back and forth and back and forth?
yeah,
These two players, when this tournament,
it looks like
well, it's not a call. It looks like he's going to making the fold. When this final table started, it's easy to say this now, but Mark and I were talking about who we thought the favorites were, and these two were on the very short list. So it's not really a surprise to see them
No.
duking it out here for the bracelet.
and Stokes
For the
just
chip set.
Stokes just dropped that hand too. So it is, and you can kind of see Nathan a little more smiles here and there, getting a little more sitting up straighter in the seat. He's feeling it right now.
It's definitely easier to feel happy and confident when you're looking at a 6-1 chip advantage.
Yeah, doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
And it looks like Pipkin's put half.
So $500,000 each pre-flop. It looked like Stokes made the call on the button, and Nathan decided to pump the price up a bit.
Deuce of diamonds, three
Jack,
spades.
3-2 rainbow. Nathan making a very quick check. Both players quickly checking.
Now a jack of diamonds out there.
500,000, a very quick abandoned ship from Stokes.
So Stokes is going to need to get something going here in the next couple of hands, or it could be lights out. And Nathan Pipkin could be taking this championship back to Aden, North Carolina.
Now, I gotta say, this is another thing that I'm not really the biggest fan of, is when you're going to be making a fold in that situation. Now, at this point, the pot is a little over $1 million, which is pretty significant for both players, but it's especially significant for Stokes. Now, when Nathan makes the bet on the turn, even if Stokes has absolutely no intention of calling and he knows he's not going to make the move of shoving, I still think that it's better to extend the time that you're before you actually release the hand, because what you don't want to do is, if your opponent is bluffing, you want to actually make them feel uncomfortable bluffing you. It'll dissuade them from bluffing in the future. And if they're value betting, you want them to make you want to give them the impression that you actually had a decision and made the right decision.
Right.
Either way, you should extend that time before you actually release the hand in those situations where the pot has actually grown to something.
Yeah,
substantial.
it's consistency.
Yeah, it's consistency, and it's also dissuading behavior. In the case that he's bluffing in the future. Mm-hmm. You don't want him bluffing. You want him to be as uncomfortable as possible.
Right. Well, things are looking pretty uncomfortable for Eric Stokes right now. As Nathan Pipkin almost looks like he's tilted the table down. Almost all the chips at his end. He is feeling confident, smile on his face as he tries to claim this championship. You can see the custom chip set and the bracelet on the table. And of course, both these players are going to walk out with a 5-figure score today. $12,000 for the runner-up, $15,000 for the winner. But the heat is on Eric Stokes now, the former Heartland Poker Tour event winner. Detroit Lion, a tight end in the NFL for 6 years. Against Nathan Pipkin, who has finished third in this event before. His father has claimed this championship in in the past, and now he will look to try and join him.
It's an on and a call. 9-4. 3-2. So both players having the straight.
That's not bad. Get a little fist pump there. It's like, yeah, all right.
I feel like Nathan probably should have been making the shove just on the off chance. There was a hand a few years ago where it was the 10K WPT. The board comes out all rainbow with a Broadway on it. You know, the Ace, King, Queen, Jack, 10, and Beth Shack was at the table. A player, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Min Win. Goes all in, and two players at the table actually folded their hand, including Beth Shack.
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
That's not good.
It's pretty rough when you're folding the nuts.
Put that in the shoe closet.
I like Beth.
I do too.
She's a fun player.
And if you're wondering where all the chips are on the table right now, Nathan Pipkin's got them hiding over there. Literally wall to wall. And Eric has gone all in on this flop. Queen of Hearts, 3 spade, 4 heart. Pipkin checking his cards, and he will let it go.
So Stokes making the all-in, Nathan making the fold. And Stokes chipping away a little bit. It looks like he's at about 2.3, 2.4.
You can see we still got a pretty decent crowd around the table, too. Let's hope they don't get too close. But, This heads up has lasted longer than the first 6 eliminations of the tournament.
It might last longer than it took to get here. I mean, it's a good structure. Both players aren't giving up.
You know, and that's the experience factor coming in for Eric. That, you know, he's been here before. He knows, you know, not to panic. You know, a lot of players in a spot like this would be panicking and just throwing their chips in the middle. You know, he's keeping his cool, and, you know, between the poker experience and the NFL experience, I'm sure, you know, he knows one thing about maintaining poise. That's for sure. So,
well, you know, the game isn't over until one person has all the chips.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just anything can happen until that point.
all in a call.
All in a call, and Eric looks pretty happy about it. But
Eric with
he's not
2 black
as far
tens.
ahead as he thought before they turned the hand over. This is the classic coin flip: Ace King of Spades versus the pocket tens.
Ace King.
So we call this a coin flip in poker. The truth is, it's not really a coin flip. Eric Stokes is ahead by about 53-47. You know,
So
about
it's
6
an
or
angled.
7%.
It's an angled coin, slightly angled.
It's the kind of flip that I would take every day.
Yeah.
You know? But we might see the end of it right here. Okay.
All right, so we are getting ready for a flop here. And these two guys standing up next to each other. A lot of excitement in the air. This could be the championship hand for Nathan Pipkin. Ace King of Spades against the tens. And a little Eric Stokes going for the rubbing that bracelet. He keeps touching it, but he's hoping he's going to get a double up here to have a chance to take it home. And here is your flop. And it is an 8 of spades, ace of diamonds, 9 of diamonds. Big trouble there for Stokes. Pipkin has taken the lead. So he's going to need some running cards here. An 8 of hearts, and that is going to leave him drawing to those 2 10s. Is this the final card? It is. The 4 of spade clubs, and that is going to do it. Nathan Pipkin from Ayden, North Carolina has claimed the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em Tournament. Eric Stokes will be your runner-up. Stokes will pick up $12,000 for his efforts in this one. But it is Nathan Pipkin who's going to be doing the celebrating here. Pipkin's off screen getting hugs from his family. And we're going to step away for 1 second. We're going to get a camera here on the ceremony. So hang on just 1 second, and we will have our bracelet presentation to Nathan Pipkin. Congratulations to Nathan. Pipkin receiving his championship bracelet. You can hear all the calls from his family. They're trying to get that bracelet on him.
On behalf of Moose International, we congratulate Nathan Pipkin for winning the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em. We're going to be staging this for some photos. And also, I want to take a moment to thank all of the participants in the 2017 Moose International Texas Hold'em Poker Tournament. For all the, we know that it's hard to go out and the sacrifices that you make to come out to participate in an activity like this. We want to thank you for making that effort. We wish you safe journeys home, and we hope to see you back next year at the 2018 tournament from January 14th to the 17th, 2018. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless Moose Heart, and God bless Moose Haven.
All right. So Nathan Pipkin is your champion. As he brings home the title here for 2017. Always fun to see somebody appreciate a win. And getting everything ready to go over there. And that is going to wrap it up for us. But we want to, of course, thank Moose International for having us out here again. We certainly do appreciate it. So, here you can see Nathan getting settled in as we'll try to stick around here and let him get his just due here on the broadcast. Maybe we can see if we can get Nathan over here too and have him sit down for a second with us. He'll be doing an interview with Dutch, but and there you can see Nathan wrapping things up. All right, and that is going to do it for us. Well, once again, we want to thank Moose International for having us out here. Always a pleasure to broadcast this event. We'll look forward to seeing you in 2018. And we also want to thank the Golden Nugget for yeah. So Dad's celebrating out here too. They both got championships. How about that? That is awesome. But once again, thanks to the Golden Nugget and Andy Rich for having us out here too. A great time. I want to thank Dutch Boyd for being a part of this as well. And I'm Mark Hoke. Thank you so much for joining us. And once again, if you want to check out Moose International, terrific organization, go to mooseintl.org. Hey, you can be a part of the Moose today. I think Dutch and I ought to sign up. But thank you so much, everybody. We do appreciate it. I'm Mark Hoke. Have a great night, and we'll see you in 2018.